Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, made her debut in the 1940s and quickly became one of the most famous DC characters around. She has had multiple ongoing titles, appeared in live-action films, TV shows, and even video games. Now, since she has been along for such a long time, writers have tried out different versions of her. Some worked, some didn't. Some of these versions were even scary. And by scary, I mean both good scary and bad scary. And that, my friends, is what we're going to talk about today. Hey everyone, what's up? Welcome to Top 10 Nerd. I am your host, David Raff. Today, we are going to be talking about the top 10 scary Catwoman alternate versions. Now, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to Top 10 Nerd so you never miss one nerdy moment. Alright, with all that out of the way, let's get started. Number 10, Catwoman 2004. So, in 2004, Warner Brothers released the film Catwoman, and it was pretty scary. And not like in the horror movie kind of way, more like an I can't believe this actually got made kind of way. It was very loosely based on the character. Like, her name wasn't even Selina Kyle. The character's name was Patience Phillips, and she was a graphic designer for a big makeup company. The film was a big disaster for Warner Brothers. Not only did it anger Catwoman fans everywhere, but it also just did really bad, making only $82 million worldwide against its $100 million budget. It really hurt the DC Films brand and was a big setback for superhero films in general. I mean, even Halle Berry has admitted how bad it was. A Catwoman movie starring Halle Berry should have been a home run, but for some reason it just did not work. Number 9, The Dark Knight Rises. In the 2012 film, The Dark Knight Rises, Catwoman finally returned to the big screen, this time played by Anne Hathaway. For the most part, fans really enjoyed her portrayal of Selina Kyle. There were some slight differences between her and her comic, but I mean, there always is. Her costume was also very different, but it fit the world that Christopher Nolan created. It sucks that she only came in near the end of the trilogy, so we never really got to see how her character would have evolved over the course of, say, a few films, but it was awesome to see Catwoman in the trilogy and that her and Bruce ended up together, which a lot of fans appreciated, since their relationship has always been kind of rocky in the comics. I mean, she left the guy at the altar. We were so close. Number 8, Catwoman Beyond. Oh man, Batman Beyond is one of the best animated series of all time. I mean, I absolutely adore it. And even though it ended, it's lived on. It had a movie, popped up again during Justice League Unlimited, and even had a few different ongoing comics. That's where Catwoman comes in. She first showed up in Batman Beyond Volume 3, Issue 2. She's the daughter of Danton Black, who is better known as the villain Multiplex, who can create multiple copies of himself. His daughter inherited that ability. Well, almost. You see, she can only make 9 copies of herself, which is, of course, is like a cat having 9 lives, which is why she took on the name Catwoman. She is an Olympic level acrobat and has a very top of the line high-tech suit to help her out. Her and Terry usually don't get along, but they do end up working together every once in a while. Number 7, Kingdom Come Catwoman. Kingdom Come is one of the most popular DC stories, like ever. It's an elseworlds tale that really put a unique spin on the whole roster of popular DC characters. In the story, all the DC heroes and villains are a lot older than what fans are normally used to. Selina is retired and runs a very successful cosmetics company. Now, she's not a massive part of the story, but overall it was a very cool way to see what Catwoman might be doing once she retires from being Catwoman. Also, she looks amazing. The art in this book is incredibly well done. If you haven't read it, do yourself a favor, read it. It is awesome. Number 6, the Batman TV series. So, Adam West's Batman show / movie series had a few different actresses play Catwoman. One was Julie Newmar, another was Eartha Kitt, and also Lee Merriweather, who was briefly seen in the film. Julie and Eartha both portrayed Catwoman in multiple episodes, with both being able to truly make the character their own. Julie left after 2 seasons, and Eartha came in season 3 to take over. It was a big deal when Eartha came in because she was the first African American to play the role of Catwoman, which really paved the way for more diversity in the superhero genre as a whole. Number 5, Gotham by Gaslight. In the Gotham by Gaslight comic series, Selina actually didn't show up. It was only in the 2018 animated movie that she made an appearance, and fans really loved it. You see, Gotham by Gaslight is an elseworlds tale that takes place on Earth 19. It takes place during the 19th century, and Selina Kyle is actually a socialite who is campaigning for more police involvement against none other than Jack the Ripper. It's also really cool they managed to incorporate her in a film in such a unique and interesting way, considering she was nowhere to be found in the original comic. Number 4. Batman Ninja Catwoman. Batman Ninja is a Japanese animated superhero film that came out in 2018. In this film, Batman is sent back in time because of Gorilla Grodd. It's there he sees Catwoman, who reveals that she's also been sent back in time, but has actually been there for 2 years. Catwoman has a brand new outfit, and it's very cool to see her adapt in a completely new setting. The whole film was really different than what fans were used to, but sometimes different is exactly what fans need. And even though a lot of fans were hesitant, since it's hard to see some of your favorite characters portrayed in a completely different way, they ended up really embracing it. Number 3. Arkham series Catwoman. I love the Batman Arkham game series. It's amazing. Not only is the story and gameplay outstanding, but so are their takes on some of the characters. One of those being Selina Kyle. Now, Selina doesn't appear in the first game, Batman Arkham Asylum, but she does appear in both Batman Arkham City and Batman Arkham Knight. Not only does she have a wide array of cool outfits you can choose from, but you can also actually play her on some of the missions, or just explore the city beating up criminals in free roam. And beating up random criminals as Catwoman is so much fun, especially considering her fight style is completely different than Batman's. So it gives you just a completely different experience, which is really cool. Number 2. Injustice. Injustice: Gods Among Us and Injustice 2 are some of the most celebrated DC games ever. Not only that, but they gave us an amazing comic series as well. The whole universe is so fleshed out and unique, and gave us a very different version of the characters we knew and love. One of those was Catwoman. Now, she shares a lot of similarities with her original counterpart, but a new costume and some spicy Batman drama really help set this version apart. You see, when Joker tricks Superman into killing Lois and their unborn child, Superman snaps and kills him, and then starts a regime of heroes and villains to basically rule the world. But they think they're saving it. Batman opposes him and starts a resistance. Catwoman actually sides with Batman, but she eventually ends up joining Superman's side, which of course doesn't sit well with Bruce. But Selina is doing it to not only find out more info about Superman and his regime, but also to protect herself. I mean, who would want a murdering Superman coming after you? Not me. Number 1. Batman Returns Catwoman. I think almost everyone will agree whether you love the film or you hate it. Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman stole the show. It was a very different, dark, and gritty take than a lot of audience were used to. That was actually part of the reason the film itself actually turned off a lot of people, which is why they ended up making Batman Forever a lot more family friendly, and then that led into Batman and Robin, which we will not talk about. But back to my main point, Michelle's take on Selina was really different and unique. Selina is a secretary that ends up getting murdered by her boss for being in the wrong place at the wrong time. She is then resurrected by cats in an alleyway, and so begins her journey. There were even talks of a spin-off film with Michelle's version of Catwoman at one point. Tim Burton even almost directed it, but then it kind of got stuck in development hell for years. And Tim Burton actually almost directed it, but then it got stuck in development hell for years, and then that led us to the 2004 film Catwoman, which I mentioned earlier, and we all know how that turned out. Alright, there you have it guys, the top 10 scary Catwoman alternate versions. What does your list look like? Let us know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to Top 10 Nerds so you never miss one nerdy moment. I'm your host, David Raff, and thank you so much for watching.